Guys, in today's video, I want to talk about how you can have perfect off-lead recall with your dog, no matter what's going on around them and no matter what kind of breed you have, regardless of whether they're a hunting, fighting breed like puppy, regardless of whether they're a Labrador or Golden Retriever or Spaniel bred to chase and hunt game. It does not matter. You can have perfect recall, and I want to teach you how you can do that in today's video. Puppy, come. Yeah, good girl. Oh yes, what a good puppy. So how is it that you go about teaching perfect recall? Well, we utilize my 3 steps to teaching any new behaviors, but when it comes to recall, there then is some additional things I want to talk about later on in this video, which is what guarantees you success. But we can't move on to those things until we have the first 3 steps mastered. And the first step is around simply helping your dog understand what it is that you want from them. We need to teach them the command of recall. For Puppy, she understands that puppy come means I need you to come to me right now. We taught that in a very low distraction environment from day 1. When you come to me, amazing things are going to happen. And that's step 1 of the process. We lure them into coming to us, we cue up the behavior, we then mark it with yes, and then give lots of positive reinforcement to help them understand what it is that we want from them when we say come. Then the next level, once we've mastered level 1, we can then start to up the distraction levels, starting in no distraction environments to make it really easy to learn, and then slowly but surely we build up those distraction levels. And we do that little by little, setting our dogs up for success, continuing to lure them in, and then rewarding that behavior when they succeed, so that they understand that at any point, no matter what's going on, if I ask you to come to me and you do, then great things are going to happen. That process for some dogs can take weeks and months. Some dogs can go months into years. And lucky for some owners, that is often all dogs need, and they will then have reliable recall forever. Likewise, it's all some dogs need to teach them a nice heel position and loose lead walking, regardless of where they're at. For some dogs, having them be able to sit and stay in any environment, that's all they need. Teach them first, help them understand, and then slowly but surely build up the distraction level. Now, if you're following a positive reinforcement based methodology, these first 2 steps can be achieved using purely positive methods of just food and reward based systems. However, this is where problems can arise. When your dog understands exactly what it is that you want from them, but they make the decision to ignore you. They make the decision to do something else. And that often happens as we get to those higher levels of distraction, when the things that are distracting the dog are of higher levels of motivation and desire than coming back to you to get that reward that you have. Well, that's where, to achieve perfection, we must be willing to administer some level of correction. Now, when it comes to behaviors like teaching your dog to walk nicely to heel on a loose lead, then these are a little bit easier. We can utilize our leads to administer the correction and communication our dogs need to know that them ignoring us isn't acceptable. When you know that your dog understands that you want them here on your left hand side, and you're going for a walk and they see another dog and they decide to pull off towards that dog, we can use our lead to help communicate to them that that isn't acceptable. And by administering those minor levels of lead corrections, just a handful of times, can be all that is required to have a dog have perfect heel no matter where they find themselves. But what happens when you don't have a lead? What happens when you come out to an environment like this with your dog off lead and you have no lead control? How is it that you can ensure success? It is because we utilize a modern, positive, low-level system of remote collar training. This tool guarantees me success no matter what dog I have, no matter where we are and what is going on around us. When I say puppy come, She knows, yeah, good girl, that she has to come. And she comes with her tail wagging, ready to greet me. She doesn't come with fear. She doesn't ruin our relationship. It helps her understand that no matter where we are, she needs to look up to me for guidance and direction, and she must listen. Break. And that is what allows us to have that off-lead freedom that people can only dream of. So exactly how is it that we're able to teach the remote collar to work flawlessly on low levels where it doesn't harm the dog, it doesn't cause them stress, it doesn't ruin our relationship, in fact it improves our relationship? Well, many people think that remote collar training is lazy, but our system is far from lazy. It takes 4 to 5 weeks of multiple training sessions every single day, utilising many advanced methods and theories, but we can boil the principle and the system down to the same 3 steps we just talked about. When we want to teach our dogs the language of the remote collar, we start at step 1 under 0 distractions, and we pair the sensation of the remote collar at levels humans can't even feel, and to the dog feels nothing more than a slight tap on their shoulder. We help them understand what that means. We help them understand how to turn that sensation off. And we do that through thousands of repetitions throughout the first stage of the process. When we are confident that our dog understands the language of the e-collar, and they understand how that sensation works, and more importantly, that they are in control of turning that sensation off, then we can move on to step 2. And level 2 is exactly the same principle. We start to level up those distraction levels, helping our dog understand the language of the e-collar no matter what's going on around them, whether it's in a 0 distraction environment or whether it's in a higher level distraction environment, just like this. And if we put the time, the dedication, the sheer number of reps and effort from a place of loving leadership in to those first 2 stages, then when it comes time to stage 3, being prepared to utilize potential corrections, oftentimes it's not even required. And if it is required of significantly lower levels. And yes, I am a balanced training advocate. Yes, in the right situation, to help save dogs' lives and keep them safe and under control, I will utilise corrections when necessary, but I utilise those corrections from a place of love, and I use the minimum amount of correction required to achieve the desired outcome. And through the sheer effort that we put in those first 2 stages, if our dogs make the wrong decision when they're off lead, if our dogs ignore our command to come back to us, we can slowly dial up the levels to find the lowest amount of correction required to help them understand that they must come back to us. We are in charge, and we lead our dogs because we love our dogs, but to effectively lead our dogs, we must be able to effectively communicate with them. And there is no better tool on the planet to communicate to your dog off lead up to half a mile away than the remote collar. But thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully there's tons of value packed in there for you as well. So maybe you can consider subscribing. We do videos like this every single week. I can't wait to see you here on the next episode of Canine Training.